goal is to bring you your next favorite band.
Sweet, that intro is my new favorite band. That's phenomenal. I'm so excited to be on.
Yeah. I heard a rumor that you might be able to play that song live today.
You heard correctly. Yes.
Excellent. So,
good enough for rock.
I don't know when I rock out here on your next favorite band and show.
and listen, it's going to be everybody's favorite band.
Phil, you weren't supposed to make me get all... God almighty,
But this
Phil.
is why we do it.
Like, seriously. I gotta gather myself. All right, go ahead.
Okay.
Welcome to your next favorite band. That's both the show title and our promise to you. We here at Stereophilia Studio are tireless in our pursuit of finding incredible, genre-defiant artists who are either a hot up-and-coming band or a group that has been delivering for years but have flown under the radar.
Tonight, we preview our third annual Listen to the Dissonance event happening this Friday with some special interviews and the artist of the promo poster.
Each month, we will bring you live streams, audio podcasts, and perhaps even a live concert where you can listen to the stories and hear the music of artists personally curated by us based on what we feel will be worthy of your time. Be sure to subscribe and tune in to each episode because the possibilities are endless and you never know who will be
Your next favorite band.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to the show. I am your host, Philip Reese, joined by special guest co-host.
Hi, I'm Hannah.
Hannah Taylor and the Cat Mister. And you are listening to your next favorite band. This is our special live stream where we kind of preview our live event. And I can't believe we're doing our third annual event of this type. I feels like this was just a concept yesterday. But Listen to the Dissonance, third annual event where we have songs and conversations about mental health. And lots of musicians have been, brave and vulnerable on the show, sharing their personal journeys, and just kind of had everything come to, an opportunity to say, would these people be willing to join us for a night set aside for those conversations specifically? And here we are. Each year, it had been 4 different musicians. So 4 in the first year, 4 last year, 4 new ones this year, and just kind of honored and humbled that we can do this. So, just thank you all also for tuning in to these, these episodes and these interest levels, and hopefully you're tuning in tonight to be able to join us this Friday. One thing we definitely have to thank, we're gonna spend a little time here, Hannah, where you're gonna be more of a co-host. Then I want to kind of thread the needle and bring you on more as a guest, where we're going to definitely. So one of the things we haven't mentioned here, and I'm going to bring it up more specifically here. We're not going to dive into it just yet, but you were brilliant in your design of this year's poster. So
Thank you.
That's
Thank
where
you so much.
Not only are you a talented musician and you've been on the show before as a member of the Flying Vees, who are an incredible band that you're a part of.
Shout out.
That's exactly right. Shout out to the Flying Vees. But you are also a brilliant an artist. And here's the poster design. Here's the other part about how brilliant Hannah was. This was the landscape version. She gave me a portrait version. She gave me versions that were just the images and just the text, and was just such a pleasure to work with. But
thank you.
That's what we're going to spend a little bit of time on in a moment. But for right here, I just kind of wanted to say hello. How are you doing? How are things? I heard you and your boyfriend found parking in Philadelphia. And the banner evening.
It's great. It can be dicey after 5 p.m. So
I'm sure.
But really, that's as long as it's within a 2-block radius. There's always something in a 2-block radius. So.
And I know massive Phillies fan, pitchers and catchers are reporting. You must be excited about that.
Very excited. I'm wearing my hat. I'm wearing my socks.
I did. You are all in on that.
I'm in. Yeah.
And that's excellent. So yeah. And again, thank you. So as far as just music and mental health. Let's just keep it kind of super general. Just like your experience, maybe just purely as a musician at the general level, like where these moments happen where an audience member is connected with a song or a story that you shared in between songs. You know, how has this been for you in your personal journey as a musician or an artist? Like maybe even from the art where people connect with something, but where there's like a bridge to a connection with an observer or a listener where it meant something to them and they felt like you guys connected on something.
Yeah, actually, you brought this up. I think it was in the last interview that I had with you with the Flying Vees, where you were like, "Oh, your song Greenbacks and Lines," and it's my only song that's like fully fleshed out.
Sure.
And you're like, "That's a really like great poignant song about like, you know, like substance abuse and like depression and like, you know." And I was like, I never really thought about it like that actually ever. It's funny, like, you know, I wrote the song and I was going, you know, I'm just like going through it. And, and it's just been, and I call it my sad cocaine girl lullaby song. And then I'm like, oh, that's actually exactly like kind of what it is.
That's what I wanted to say was, yes, you can say it and be funny, but you can also say that and be like, that's exactly right.
Yeah.
Like, and it's not a secret that there's lots of people going through that stuff. So it's like, when that can help somebody else be like, okay, I'm not alone. Like there are other people who have been here, and that's a powerful thing. That's what this whole show is about. This Listen to the Dissonance show, is just purely the acknowledgement that it's like someone else gets what this moment feels like.
Totally.
Tomorrow, a little bit easier, and so. That's the element of this that I feel humbled by is just simply that might happen, even just to one person, is so motivating for this to kind of persist and go on. So
yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and I've been thinking about like approaching songwriting like more intentionally in that way too. So thanks.
That's cool.
Thanks. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So yeah, I used the scroller. I don't usually use the scroller, but I wanted people to see at the bottom of the screen that basically it's this Friday, February 27th, in Bethlehem. It's at the IceHouse. There's a lot of people even from Bethlehem who have never been in the IceHouse. So it's very easy to find. It's basically along the river on the north side, kind of behind the wooden match. And so basically, if you put it into your phone, you'll find it. But also reach out if you want to just confirm that you're going to the right spot. But a beautiful space, an absolutely stunning space. And we actually have a video that we're going to play at the very end from last year's performance, so you can kind of see how amazing the venue is on the inside. What I wanted to play off the top here was actually when we finalize the lineup each year. One of the things that we started doing was we find a day somewhere like at least a month, if not 2 months prior to the event, where all four musicians and myself just get on a call, like using this software. And we just kind of all introduce each other to ourselves and our stories and those kinds of things. And I tell them, if you don't mind, I'm going to record it, but it's not so that I want you to feel like you're being recorded. I just want to be able to pull 4 or 5 second little clips from it to do a promo video. And then I run it past them so that it's not the most vulnerable moments because those are private, but these are the parts where, I think kind of help tell the story and give you a window into what each of these musicians is about. And hopefully, again, makes you a little bit more interested in maybe coming down for the show. And if you're not local to Bethlehem and you're liking what you hear, because we're also going to play a track from each of the musicians, maybe this will just have you kind of checking into their catalog and their music and their backstories. But here, check out our promo video for Listen to the Dissonance 2026.
Listen to the Dissonance. Songs and conversations about mental health. Let's hear from the performers.
We're not trying to solve anything. We're not trying to think that we've got anything figured out. It's purely about a safe space where you don't have to whisper about things like addiction or suicide or direct depression or anxiety. You can just talk about it in a way that is normalized. And so that's
CLOVER.
Which that coupled with my grief was really, really hard for my mental health. And I kind of had to go into this zone of pushing away my grief and my emotions. Then started experiencing panic attacks. And it became very clear that I needed help.
Barney Cortez.
Because people in the midst of addiction, they can't see.
Sure.
They can't see anything beyond that. They're like, oh, well, what's the point of living if I can't medicate myself?
Patty PerShayla.
And I'm like, hey, that's actually kind of a nightmare that I'm going through all the time, and just trying to like figure out how to express that. Like
Judah Kim.
What I'm getting at is that if something is everyday, ordinary, crazy, if I can share that with people, and the less stigmatized that becomes, we don't have to be ashamed of it.
And music has always been a place that I've gone to like process my emotions. And I've been so grateful for that.
It's been a long road for me, but I'm in a good place now. But it's day to day. But the music has saved my life for sure. Like it's given me purpose. It's given me, it's always been there for me.
About connecting, and that's my intent too, is to kind of like just sort of share my inner world so that I can feel connected, and so that other people can feel connected too.
what I'm trying to work through, honestly, just being part of this show, is figuring out how to like, to get that to come across. Like this is what my brain is telling me, all these like things that it's afraid of all day long, and just how exhausting that can be.
Yeah.
But it's really about this journey of like coming out of the depths and being on the other side, and seeing that even if you have a life that's like so heavy and you've experienced so much shit, there is beauty and joy, and it's everything on the other side. So yeah.
Listen to The Dissonance, happening Friday, February 27th at 7 p.m. at the IceHouse in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania. Get your tickets today.
So there's our promo. What'd you think there, Hannah?
Nice. Everyone is much more eloquent at talking about their stuff than I am. I love that. I'm like, oh yeah, I relate to all of that, and it's nice hearing people put it into words. So
Sure, absolutely. And two artists are from Philly, Barney Cortez and Judah Kim.
Mm-hmm.
And Clover is like Frenchtown, New Jersey, so she's kind of like halfway between Philly and the Lehigh Valley. But I know she's kind of getting more into Philly venues lately.
Cool.
And then Patty PerShayla is from Nashville. She's originally from Michigan, but is based in Nashville now. So funny thing about that is all 3 years there's been a Nashville-based artist on the lineup. Somewhat
Nice.
not intentional. More just like I've always tried to make our lineups be more about than just like want someone local, want someone a little more regional, and want someone a little more beyond that if possible. Isn't always possible. But it just seems like we've been pulling from Nashville each time.
Yeah.
Which isn't the worst thing in the world. There's a lot of great people there. So
That's true. There's a
it's
lot of
really-
there's like funny Nashville to Philly pipeline too.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, there is.
Yeah. And we've got some musicians tuning in. Here's Lucas. Lucas is in the band Love Cartel. Can't wait for this. What a great group of musicians.
Cool.
So thank you for tuning in. Hopefully, and let's get into that. So I wanted to, before we kind of transition to having you kind of talk more as a guest, I wanted to play a song because we want to play a track from each of the musicians. So the first one, this is somewhat in order that they'll be performing that night. So starting things off for us will be Clover. And each of the songs I picked, because this is a night where it's very much the singer-songwriter setting. And so it's much more acoustic, or in the case of Clover, she's a little bit more of a keyboardist, a pianist. So I picked songs off of their channels that were more in that kind of like stripped down acoustic vibe so that you could get more of a sense of what it might feel like that night as well. So here's the first track from Clover, and it's I Cried at Costco.
I cried at Costco when I saw the saffron, 'cause I know you bought it. The last time we went, you said that it was worth it for special occasions to spend $1 more than you'd usually spend. Now it sits in the cabinet and nobody has it, 'cause how could an occasion be like a freight train. You're never out and running. You spiral and shake. You bend till you break. You gotta give in, no matter when it hits you.
Just a beautiful track there by Clover. I mean, she is very open about the grief that she went through. She lost her parents basically, I think, about 2 months apart, even though they were divorced, and like that led to other things, but basically lost those two pillars in her life at a younger age, very close together, and that's a lot of kind of what that particular song is about, where you're just connecting with something that seems small and trivial, but it's so powerful in your memory of that person.
Yeah. And that was beautiful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the way a lot of this is going to go. We have some uncomfortable silence moments, but and I think too, like I'm always amazed in these moments where it is stripped down, and the Flying Vees have a lot of these moments as well, and like a typical show of theirs where it's like it's vocals and it's very minimal from a instrumentation standpoint, but it puts such an emphasis on the importance of that, but it just comes off so flawlessly by brilliant musicians that I just love watching that too. It's just like, oh my gosh, like
Me
you are
too.
born to do this.
Yeah.
And so I just love watching that in these settings, and I'm just emotional and blown away in so many ways, like the stories, the lyrics, the songwriting, the performing, all of it. So that's just, I get to just go along for the ride on this, and I love it.
Yeah, that was lovely. And now I have it stuck in my head.
Yes, yeah,
Like
yeah.
the visceral stuff too about it too.
For
Yeah.
sure. But okay, so now welcome to the show, Hannah Taylor. Hi, how are you?
Hi, good. How are you? This feels very
Um,
unserious with my cat being.
No, listen,
Okay.
animals are very grounding. Like that's, I think, part of what we need them in this life for these types of moments. So
That's true. This is a very unserious cat, but
totally
I think
fine.
actually that's definitely got its place too. But I
Certainly
digress.
does. Certainly
Yeah.
does. Look at how handsome he is. So yeah, tell us about the design. Let me bring it up here again. And if there's anything you can share as far as like inspiration or kind of like where this all came from, because I kind of asked you to do it and you were like on board before I even finished telling you the story.
Yeah.
But yeah, what can you share? Because it's like it's been so captivating for so many people. Because I had a poster made out of it
Oh, thanks.
to put up around town. And everywhere I brought it said, well, yeah, of course you can put a poster up to support something like, a concert of local musicians and then also about mental health, but also because that's so gorgeous. Like everyone who has seen it has absolutely fallen in love with this design.
Thank
So
you.
tell us about like what kind of was the inspo? What was kind of like, what was going through your mind as you were doing the design?
When you approached me about it, I was like, I love this idea. I love the concept. I love like the cause. I love all the topic. I don't know. And so as you can see, it's very Art Nouveau inspired. So that's kind of like,
Totally.
that's my bag. That's my favorite thing to draw. And I don't know, I kind of was envisioning, like a visualization of sort of not being underwater, but like I get maybe the feeling of being suffocated
Sure.
by yourself. So that's, I think, where I was going with that.
Got
I
it.
think
Almost like
that's,
an Ophelia thing.
yeah, I guess. Yeah. It's interesting.
Mm-hmm. I'm
Um,
going to go a different one here just so people can maybe see it a different way. Here's the better
yeah.
one. That was another one that kind of came through there.
I think that was the original one, and then I was like, I didn't size that properly, so then I had to like do all this extra stuff. But yeah, that's the original one.
Love it. Love it. Love it.
Yeah, I'm
In
glad
fact,
everyone likes it and resonates with people.
I have the posters I put up around, but I kept a few back, one for each of the performers and one for you. So next time I see
Great.
you, I
Awesome.
can present you with one.
Cool.
And this way you can have it as well. But we should also say you're an artist for hire in general. So like I was gonna bring up your site here. Yeah, look at this. There we go. So this is your site, which it's hannahtaylor.carbonmade.com. And you can access it if that's not all that memorable. If you go to the Hannah Taylor Instagram, so you can go to the Hannah Taylor Instagram handle of Handroid, and then the link is right there. But let's come back to here. And so this is basically kind of like your online digital portfolio.
Pretty much, yeah. I haven't updated in 1 million years. I have, yeah, it's funny. It's time feels like time has gotten so weird where I just like don't know how time seems to be slipping through my hands, like, where I'm just like, I can't believe it's been 2 years, and it's like, when's the last time I actually updated that? But that seems like I think it's a pretty good visual representation of of my stuff.
Yeah,
so.
these are all your murals.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
I was just kind of leaning into some of that. There's also some time lapse videos on here of these murals, and it's very, very cool stuff.
Oh yeah.
But there you are.
There I am in my old place.
And ways that people can get in touch with you. So
yeah,
I just kind of wanted to make sure we mentioned that, and then of course,
thank you.
The musician side of it as well. So Flying Vees, but that's not it. There's also like Cosmic Guilt and all sorts of other stuff, like many bands that you're connected to in the Philly scene.
Yes.
But the Flying Vees feels like it's the one that's the most like out in the front right now.
Yes, it is. Shall I elaborate on that?
Yeah, go ahead, talk about it.
Yeah, we had an EP released last year. We actually just got together this past weekend to work on another toe tapper of a song about the Epstein list. So that's a real feel good song.
Music and the art has in many times, not always, but many times does have a political angle.
Totally.
And I think the Flying Vees is very much a women empowerment angle on that.
Yes.
So not political for the sake of taking a side, more like, hey, this is just the reality of shit. And maybe to kind of introduce somebody to that reality. And I love it. I think it's great.
Thank you. Yeah, these are all things that we like truly believe in, like to our core.
Yes.
Yeah.
And anybody who hasn't heard it yet, go do yourself a favor and go check out the song Back Up Motherfucker. Which you sent in for your tiny desk, right?
Yes, we did. It was in 2020, and it made it to the top of like the judges' pick first, like front page, and we were like, "This is awesome, getting traction." It's got like a lot of views on YouTube, and then like a week later, COVID happened.
COVID hit.
So,
that sucks, but an incredible
that
track.
majorly sucked. Thank you.
Yeah, you got to check that out. And then again, like most people who have been on the show, recorded stuff's great. Live, even better. So you got to go see a Flying Vees show live. And we got to make more happen up here in Bethlehem. We got to get Godfrey Daniels and Music Fest and all sorts of great Flying V stuff happen.
Oh yeah, that would be awesome. Actually, that's on my list of things to do. Was to email you about that. So thanks for the reminder.
Wonderful. Yes, let's definitely let's do that.
Mm-hmm.
And then let's see here. We've got some other musicians tuning in. We have Coil. They've been on the show before. They're out of California. And so there we go. So let's keep the music going. I wanted to play another musician who's playing that night, and this will take us into one of the other interviews. So we have 2 interviews tonight that were pre-recorded. One with the clinical director of Backline. His name is Ari Jacobson. He was on last year to tell us, kind of getting into some of the things about Backline. Backline is an organization, a nonprofit that provides free mental health services to the music industry. And they've actually been on all 3 years that we've previewed this live event. So the first year, the executive director and basically the founder of the organization, Hillary Gleason, she was on. Last year, Ari Jacobson, clinical director, and then this year, Ari came back on. And they've gone through a massive evolution over the last year. So this year's info is way different than last year, so you really want to watch both of them. It's also edited. So this is a highlights interview. So please go check out the full, because basically this is about half to maybe 2/3-ish of the interview with him. And then I'll tell you what the other one is later. But first, we're going to listen to a track from Philly-based artist Judah Kim and his track called Fate. And then that will take us into the interview with Ari Jacobson of Backline.
That we, started this was because our friends were out there dying and getting very ill, and they didn't know where to turn in order to get help. And we thought if we could give them that place, then we could help other people find that place, and that's what's happening.
part of the amazing thing that's happened sort of naturally since we launched this organization is that it's becoming easier to talk about mental health because you can point somewhere with resources, but also, you don't have to explain mental health when you can drop a link in there. You can say, and check out Backline.
Is doing a really good job of staying visible and letting people know that it's okay to ask for help and that this is a place where they can.
This fund has been super important to our band and crew. It provides an outlet for anybody who might be struggling on the road or looking for a little bit of help.
I just love that an organization like Backline kind of creates opportunity and space for people to be heard.
I love that it's available to people on the crew. It's not just musicians, it's not just the people in the spotlight. It's all the people around that make these shows work. It's a lot of people, a lot of lives are affected by this stuff.
Yay for Backline.
So there you have a great summary of what Backline has become. That was a video labeled Backline at 5 years. But that's actually a year ago now, right? And so joining us here is clinical director for Backline, Ari Jacobson. Second year in a row. Thank you so much, Ari, for coming back and joining the show to talk about what an important services and just mission that Backline is on for the music industry.
Yeah, I'm so happy to be here, and I even just watching that, it's fun to watch and see, but just also because so much has changed in the year.
Yeah, and also, if you don't mind either, so for anybody who's listening on the podcast, there's some things on the screen there. If you don't mind maybe speaking to, there was some numbers, maybe there was even some of the images of different things of what was going on. And I imagine some of them are now updated because it's a year later with a whole lot that happened, and we're going to get into some of that. But if you don't mind, maybe kind of just ripping off some of the more important statistics and some of the different things that maybe you would want to make sure, if somebody's only listening, that they make sure they get from that.
Sure. One of the biggest things is we, just to kind of give a very short brief about what Backline does.
Yeah.
We are a mental health hub for members of the music industry and also members of the music industry and their family members.
Yeah.
And so what people can do is go onto our website, fill out a form to request to meet with one of our case managers. And then during that process, we will have a whole conversation with them discussing whatever type of resource that they are really looking for, and then help actually connect them with those resources.
Sure.
So people will come to us looking for providers of different sorts.
Yep.
Also different kinds of tangible resources or organizations that might help them with anything that they might be struggling with. And then also with some grants and just some other things that really anything that we can help them find, we're going to do our best. The thing that I'm most proud of is I think on there, it was something that said like 1,600 care plans had been created and shared.
Yep.
We've now surpassed 2,800.
Wow. Congratulations.
Thank you. We have seen an increase in calls and submissions, calls completed and submissions each year.
Mm-hmm.
And the number that I'm the most really proud of is 75% of people who actually schedule a call with us, we do connect with. So we are seeing and actually connecting with the people who are reaching out to us. I spent years in community mental health. That first connection, that show rate for an intake appointment at best is going to be about 50-50.
Right.
And so to see that we're still, after 5.5 years, 6.5 years now,
right,
that we're still hovering at that 75%, I think is really just a credit to the reputation that we've built for actually doing a lot of this work.
Yeah. And I should say too, so this is our third annual Listen to the Dissonance. And Backline has been a part of it all 3 years. So you for the last two, and in the first year, so 3 years ago, the executive director, Hillary Gleason, who was also one of the people in that video, one of the founders of the organization, she came on and told about her story. And so there's two prior videos, the one with her that really talks about kind of like where it all came from and her personal story. Last year we got into your journey, as well as many of the different things of what Backline really it stands for and is about and offers. So we'll link to those two videos so that you can kind of get, probably the best thing here is because we're going to talk more about kind of like what has happened in the last year, because it's been quite transformative. But you don't want to miss out on some of those things. But to kind of point out maybe some of the ones that I think are the most important is you touched on one, and the video did too. This is not just for the musicians. This is for anyone in the music industry. So it could be the people who are the roadies with the bands. It could be the people who work at the venues and that type of stuff. So if you are in the music industry, you would be eligible for consideration for these free mental health services. And like you said, it's just a matter of going to backline.care, and we'll pull up the site in a second, but you fill out kind of like that intake form, and it kind of takes care of it. It starts to move from there. But there are also, maybe you're not necessarily looking for that level of one-on-one. Maybe you just want group therapy, or maybe you just simply want to connect with other people who are in a similar mindset, or headspace, so that you can check in with other people who are also touring musicians or also whatever. And so like there's different things that you offer at different levels of maybe whatever that person is most comfortable with.
Yeah. I've been a therapist for the last 15 years or so. And I will be the first person to tell you that not everybody needs a therapist.
Yep.
Some people need just some tangible tool, a breathwork app, a resource that helps them understand how box breathing works. And the thing that our case managers do so well is talk to the person about what they're struggling with, and then offer an option of resources, a wide variety of them.
And you mentioned that, and I think it's worth pointing out here. It's again something we go into deeper in the prior interview, but state regulation is a big part of this, because if you're a touring musician going into other states where your regular provider from where your home isn't licensed in those states, they technically can't counsel you in those other states. And so this is perhaps a way to get at least life coaching or something that's a foundational support system while you're on the road until you could get back home.
Sure. And I mean, there are also, thankfully, some of the regulations are beginning to change.
Yes.
And for those who are doctorate level providers, there is a SIPAC that does allow providers to be licensed in, I think it's 46 states. I'm probably not getting that number perfect. So for somebody who does need a therapist on the go all the time, there are just better options nowadays. And so that is also where we will help the person kind of figure out what it is maybe that they need.
Yeah.
And also how frequently they're on the road and how much they're traveling. And, our goal really is for somebody to just kind of be able to look at this list and say, I have names and a number and names and an email, whatever it is. And I know that at least once I get in touch with these people, not only do they know that I'm going to get in touch with them, but I just it's more of a vibe check to make sure that I can mesh with this person, because I know that what they're offering is already what I'm going to need.
Yeah. It's already a difficult art form to basically take a part of yourself, very much emotional and vulnerable, put it into song, and then now have to perform that in front of people, either in person or on the internet, where likes and follows and shares are going to now somehow equate to your level of success. Very anxiety ridden, certainly can generate depression and so on. And so like that on top of then now being in places where there might be vices that you're trying to avoid or struggle with. And, now again, being away from a family or friend support system and so on. Like, again, we go into more of that in the prior interview, but it's like such an incredibly challenging profession that what you all are doing and offering and providing to these people is got to be life changing in many, many cases. You see it in the faces of the people in that video that it was clearly something that was a giant difference maker for them. But let's talk about this. So we got on this a year ago, and right off the Grammys, which is around this time, you all, I could see it in your face that you weren't exactly sure what was about to happen. And that was all because Chappell Roan at the Grammys basically called out the music industry, saying the performers had your back, do you have ours? And she was somewhat challenged to say, well, what are you doing? And she was like, all right, fine, I'm going to do something. And she specifically named and donated a giant donation to Backline, which put you on a map in a way that you hadn't achieved before. And it set in motion many, many very, very powerful things, but you all needed to make sure you harnessed that moment. So let's go back basically 12 months and talk about how did this last year kind of evolve and transform for you all?
Sure. So even just to backtrack, even before you and I spoke last year, when the California wildfires started last year, we were blessed to receive a nice grant to be able to offer grants to people who were impacted by the wildfires. And as that grant started to get issued, it allowed us just to expand our reach, just kind of expanded from that, having a nice grant to be able to start offering. Then once everything happened with Chappell Roan and the Grammys last year, and then starting the We Got You campaign, which still exists, people can still donate to, and is still actively then getting just funneled back into offering more hours and services for people in the music industry. It allowed us to do that exact thing. We brought on more case managers, we opened up more hours. It allowed us honestly to then kind of pave the way for this past year, which we doubled the amount of calls, about 50% more calls this past year than we did the year before. We also brought in about 50% more new providers into our network this past year than we did the year before.
Sure.
So just in terms of volume, we were growing significantly last year, and that all started from that campaign. From there, in sometime, I believe over the summer, we also then began working with Spotify for Artists to create what is our now global resource hub. That hub was created for the back end of Spotify, the artists who are using it, to be able to actually have access to just a list of resources that are across the world that offer both mental health resources and music industry resources in countries just across the world. That way they can access them and be able to utilize those resources. And then also compile just some tangible resources within all one place. We spent a lot of time working with that, which then also translated into a couple more on-site events at some festivals. So we did our first real big festival presence at All Things Go last year in New York, which again has just allowed us to create more resources, share more resources, and get more things out to people in the community.
Yeah.
It also allowed us to increase the amount of take care bags that we were able to issue.
Yeah, we got those for our performers last year. It was such a nice thing to be able to kind of provide. Yeah.
Yeah. We more than doubled the amount that we were able to send out this year, and were able to actually send out all of them. So we were just excited that people were able to get them.
Yeah.
And then from there, starting in October of last year, we started the process of launching or developing and then eventually launching a 24/7 crisis hotline, specifically for members of the music industry and their family members, called Beeline, which we launched just over 3 weeks ago. So on January 27th, we had our big launch.
Yeah.
And is now out in the world and being used. And it's just very exciting to see it actually out there.
Totally. And we have a video on that we'll close with.
Yeah.
So let's come back to that in a second. Lastly, just me selfishly, as I hope that we can get Backline at the Listen to the Dissonance event in a few years. So I'll keep my fingers crossed that in 2027 we'll make that happen. But hopefully you enjoy the other musicians that are on the lineup virtually through this live stream.
Absolutely.
And then as we keep doing this, like hopefully just can, like we said, make more in-person connections down the road. But thank you for not only like, coming on the show tonight, obviously, but what you and all of your whole team and organization does year round. It's really quite special.
Thank you.
Absolutely.
It's been a pleasure. Honestly, it's always nice to chat. And I appreciate it. Working with Backline has just been an absolute pleasure, and I love the work that we're doing. And I'm just so excited about Beeline actually being out into the world.
Yeah. Anything else? So we're going to play the video right now. Anything else you would want to do to set that up?
Yeah. I mean, just people always ask kind of exactly what it is and how it operates. And I'm just really proud of what we've created. Creating this line has been a roughly 3-year project that we turned down and tabled and shelved and said we weren't going to do a million times before it actually finally came to fruition and actually is what it is now. And what it is it's a 24/7 crisis and support line for anybody who works in the music industry and their family members. They can reach out to the number, which is 1-855-BEELINE-99, or they can text 254-639. You can text anything to it. And you will get connected with a trained crisis counselor who also, to answer calls on our line, they go through a special training about the unique nature of working with people in the music industry, some of the nuances with it. It gets as detailed even to the fact of if they find out that somebody is a tour manager, they can look up to see, is this somebody I should ask if they're on the road or if they're at home right now. And then as the process happens where they resolve either the crisis or they're able to get the support that they were looking for, at the very end of the call, they are then offered to connect directly with Backline and schedule a call with us. So that way they can reach out for a crisis or support, and then also walk away with getting connected for longer term support. So that way it's just kind of full circle. They are able to get everything that they really need.
Yeah. What an amazing offer that is now. And
thank you.
And Ari Jacobson, clinical director of Backline, thank you so much for joining tonight and for all that you do throughout the year for the music industry.
Yeah, not a problem. So happy to be here.
Yeah,
Thanks for having me.
If you're tuning into the show, please listen to last year's interview. We go into more of Ari's background and more of what Backline does. And then, like I said 2 years ago when we talked to Hillary, please watch both of those. But here, take a look at the video about Beeline.
I don't know many people in the music industry that have like active, beautiful, round lives.
It's very overwhelming to navigate the world.
Felt myself on the cusp of burning out.
What is good enough? What's successful enough?
Why do I do my music? What's the point of it all?
You gotta make your struggle look sexy.
If you're thinking about survival constantly, there's no way you can think about being happy.
The music industry comes with a lot of unique mental health challenges.
It can get really overwhelming trying to stay on top of it.
Not to mention the relentless pressure of being on, day in and day out.
I've dealt with mental health challenges from the beginning of my career. Anxiety, depression, panic attacks.
All of it can build up to the neglect of our own physical and mental well-being.
It's hard to do it alone.
At times I didn't know where I could turn for help.
At Backline, our mission is to take care of the music industry's mental health and wellness needs.
And that's why for the past few years, I've been working with Backline to help support my band and crew. I've seen firsthand how their mental health resources help create a safer and healthier environment for everyone on the tour.
That's why we created Beeline.
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 A 24/7 mental health
and crisis support line made by the music industry
for the music industry.
Launched in partnership with Vibrant Emotional Health, Beeline provides immediate access to trained counselors who understand the unique challenges that music industry families face, from burnout and anxiety to substance use and crisis moments. All callers receive immediate crisis support from trained counselors and access to Backline's resources for long-term support, including custom care plans for long-term therapy, sober resources, community support, and more. Whether you're an artist, crew member, manager, agent, assistant, or if you're a family member navigating the difficult demands of the music industry, Beeline is here for you.
Support is available anytime and anywhere.
There's no crisis too small.
And no hour too late.
Music never stops, and neither do we.
Call 855-BEELINE-99
or text 254-639
for 24/7 support.
This line is for the industry, by the industry, and made possible with the generous support of our partners, Spotify for Artists, Live Nation, Audien, AEG Presents, The Busy Head Project, Red Light Management, and Wasserman Foundation. The music industry is hard. Getting help shouldn't be.
So there you have our interview with Ari Jacobson, the clinical director of Backline, and some details about just what they do overall, and then this new offering that they have called Beeline. Pretty amazing stuff, huh, Hannah?
That was awesome. I spent a lot of time on the Backline website while we were doing that, and I was like, I'm gonna go. Yeah, you were telling me about it before I designed the poster. When we were talking about this initially, and I was like, that's a really cool. That's just what a great concept, what a great company,
Sure.
what a great And I was like, I kind of forgot about it because I was seeing a therapist, but I just fired him last week, and so I'm
Wow.
gonna be all over that website.
That's cool. Yeah, like from the sound of it, the intake form is relatively straightforward to fill out.
Yeah.
And then they get back to you, and then it's there and it's available to you. So
Yeah.
yeah, absolutely. I'm thrilled when moments like that happen, because honestly, I would say the majority of the people I bring this up with, who are musicians, obviously, people on the show, most people don't even ever heard of it before, and they're this effective and prevalent, and yet still a lot of people haven't even heard of them. And then even when you do hear of them, if it's not the right time, timing's everything. Then all of a sudden you forget about it. So that's why I think having it be this annual thing for us is that's what we're just going to hopefully just have it be this kind of mantra that's out there. Hey, this is an organization that's looking to help people, so let's let them help people.
Yeah, it's great. Also, so there's that 24/7 access to counselor, to the helpline basically.
Right.
But then there's you can sign up for a one-on-one call for a caseworker. But then there's all these really cool off the beaten path less mainstream resources that they have where they're here's a breathing app, or here's a somatic exercise app, and I love stuff like that.
Correct. Yeah, and because a lot of it, what they're doing that for is the element of you might need to be grounded before performing, you might be just on tour and not sleeping well, all these different things, and so the importance of all those elements to mental health stability. It's just, every little bit can help somebody just, make it through something and get it to the next day or the next week or whatever. So, yeah, a special organization. And then they've been nothing but kind as far as coming on this show.
It's
just
amazing.
so cool. So thank you to Ari and to Hillary and to the whole organization. They've been wonderful. And we heard from Judah Kim. We heard Judah Kim's song "Fate." Like I had mentioned, he's a Philly artist. Are you familiar with Judah? Have you either performed or been around one of his performances?
I've seen his name pop up here and there, and so I recognize his name. But I have not seen him. But that was a nice little treat, a nice intro.
Nice, yeah. And we're gonna do it again here. So another song and then another pre-recorded interview. Talk about the interview first. It's Ed Schwartzman. He is the father of Ben Schwartzman, and Ben was this aspiring young musician who struggled with mental illness and mental health, and then at 19 took his own life. And that's not we get into that pretty quickly in the interview. So, and his father reached out to me months ago, and just simply had this note to me. It was so cute that it said, perhaps I have your next favorite band. It's my son. And then he went into some of the backstory. And I said, hey, this is really great music, first of all. And secondly, the story's powerful. I said, but would you mind if I held it until February? And he's very funny. He was just kind of yep, I've been waiting a long time for this. This happened back in 2007. So it's not a relatively recent thing, but obviously is a devastating moment for any family. And so he was like, yeah, absolutely. Sounds great. And then when I reached back out and we started coordinating, he's just been such a lovely human to connect with. And we have such a great chat. And I would say this is about half the interview. We just kept talking. It was just so great. He's just an easy guy to talk to. Great stories. And so you're really going to, I think you're going to love the music. And then again, the story and how sweet this father is looking to kind of keep this son's legacy alive. But before that, like we did before, we're going to have a song that leads us into it. Barney Cortez, another Philly-based artist. His catalog is amazing. He was on the show just back last September, and he'll be performing. And so this is a song, again, stripped down acoustic version of something, and it's a song called I'll Buy Anything by Barney Cortez.
This money burns a hole inside my pocket. I'm looking for somewhere that I can spend it. I try on everything inside the place. I just can't face it, I can't face myself. I'll buy anything that helps. I'll try anybody else's. I'm gonna get my kicks before I rot. You know I'll take anything you've got, but I'll wake up in the same old empty place. I just can't face it, I can't face myself. I'll buy anything that helps. I'll try anybody else's. I'm dressed up to the nines, the city swallows. Inside these pretty lights, but are they hollow? Just like these stoic models, all dressed in lace. I just can't face them, I can't face myself. I'll buy anything that helps. I'll try anybody else's. Cling to your confusion, 'cause that's all that you know, my lover, my stone. Reach for the blood, it's so stupid, I know. Peace we throw a fit and sabotage it. I throw my love away as if I robbed it. The clothes don't ever cover it or change it. Just can't face it, I can't face myself. I'll buy anything that helps. I'll try anybody else's.
I think that was it.
man up in the sky. When is my time tonight? Could it be tomorrow? I keep my syrup in the dark while I'm sitting here waiting for more, but it's all been locked away. This is the time to get home. This is the time to break the mold. I'm feeling awfully fine, and I'm thinking that it's the time. I'll step aside the lines and be
So you are listening to the music of Ben Schwartzman. That's his phenomenal track called Big Man. And joining us tonight is Ben's father, Ed, because as you know, because of the tone, like the basically the topics here of this tonight's show being about listen to the dissonance and mental health. Tragically, sadly, we lost Ben at the age of 19, right?
That's correct.
Yeah, and was very clearly a extremely talented musician because you reached out to me a couple months back, just simply saying, you know, hey, I might have your next favorite band, meaning mine. And as soon as I put on his music, it immediately grabbed me that I was just like, this is different. This is seriously someone who has a lot of talent. And then come to learn the story, and I asked you if it would be okay that we held the interview for this time frame where we do talk about these very difficult topics. And you said, of course, because it allows his story to maybe come alive for both aspects of it and how important it is to make sure that we speak of these things.
Correct.
Yeah.
Thank you, Phil. I can't thank you enough. And just how you just opened up, how you were complimentary of his music. He's been gone since 2007. And I've been pushing this rock up a hill, trying to do something productive with his music. And maybe you could argue I already have.
Sure.
But I'm greedy. I want more. It also selfishly serves to fulfill that emptiness in my heart by doing something with his music, because I feel he left it to us and maybe specifically to me that, wow, if I could do something really significant, and you know, maybe we can get into what is significant because I wrestle with that myself.
Sure.
But the fact that you said, wow, the music is really solid. I've always believed that. So I've got this dream to do something productive, but the first key to the story has to be, does the music stand on its own? Anybody listening to the music, but they say, wow, I want to hear more about this artist first, versus, well, it's a sad story. The guy's son died in 2007. He's trying to keep the music alive, but the music's not that good. I'm no music expert, but I do like, I know what I like. And every time I hear his music, I'm like even just listening to it now, and I don't listen to it every day because I probably, you know, that would be too much for me.
Sure.
But
I was going to ask that.
It's like, God, again, listen to how good that song is. So
yeah, I have put it on.
11 of them.
Yeah, I have put it on somewhat to not like put it in someone's face, more like, oh, listen to this. Here's the story. I kind of just throw it on. Maybe we're drinking coffee or drinking a glass of wine, and I just put it on. And some people will always say, what is this? This is really good. So like, it does have something to it. It certainly has that quality. But I did want to ask that. So like, when you hear it, you must be just awash with all of the emotions all over again every time.
You know, the arts and specifically music, you know, there are certain songs that remind me of old girlfriends. Like they capture a moment in time.
Sure.
Right.
Absolutely.
And so, you know, Ben died in 2007. The song Big Man was the last song he ever recorded. And I'll never forget, if you listen to all his songs, or even his cover songs that he would sing in bars, he always sang heavy songs.
Sure.
Songs like I'm a Creep by
Radiohead.
Yeah, and I mean, he owned that song.
Yep.
when he would sing that song, it was autobiographical. He wasn't just singing, I'm a creep. He was living the words. He would do a version of Yesterday by the Beatles. He would do Marshall Tucker's Can't You See? And I never knew, to me, Ben was not a big, I love country rock or Allman Brothers, that genre. And it always surprised me that he sang that song. And it wasn't until after he died by suicide that I realized in the song, Can't You See? He says, gonna find a mountain, the highest mountain, jump off, nobody's gonna know. So anyway, the point is he would sing these heavy songs. And so, and I kept saying to him, Ben, you gotta lighten it up for your audience. It's just, your music is beautiful, but it's painful and it's heavy. Maybe you could throw in a Sweet Caroline, something just to get everybody to sing along.
Right.
And, Ben was true to himself. And his last song, he says, Dad, I've written a song you're really going to like. It's upbeat.
Yeah.
Now, he would never share the words with me. Like, I could come and listen, I would record, but I could not. I would, if I said, what are the lyrics? He would just say, you have to come and listen. And he wasn't confrontational. He was just, he knew what was going on in his head, and we did too for the most part. But we kept thinking if he kept performing and kept singing and kept recording, that we could just live another day. And the lyrics to Big Man, it's got that nice downbeat, that rock and roll downbeat.
Yeah, oh yeah.
But the opening line is "Big Man up in the sky." Well, first of all, so he would tell me the name. I said, Ben, what's the name of the song? He said, Big Man. So I'm like, okay, it's a song about me, because I used to call him Little Man. He would call me Big Man. In the spirit of art, I was like, I don't care if he says my dad sucks, my dad's terrible, in front of his friends. If it's keeping him alive, I'm all in. I don't care. Obviously, I wasn't rooting for that, but when he told me the name, I'm thinking, okay, it's about me. So then I go to the show, and the opening line is "Big Man up in the sky. When is my time to die? Could it be tomorrow?" I was a little off. He wasn't singing about me. He was singing to God. And so even though he had the downbeat and it was up tempo, the lyrics were still heavy because that was bad. But I don't want to give you the impression that he was a dark, brooding kid. It's interesting. When something like this happens to you, you learn things that otherwise you would have no reason to become an expert in. One thing I've learned is that most suicides happen on a Monday. He died on a Monday. Why? Because everyone else is starting their day, starting their week. And when you're depressed and the world feels like it's on your shoulders, everyone's going to work and doing something. You're like, well, I got nowhere to go and I don't want to go anyway. That's it. I'm checking out. And most suicides occur not in winter, but in the spring, because the weather's getting nicer and people are being optimistic. Like right now, you're in Pennsylvania, I'm in Indiana, and the weather is starting to get great and you're starting to feel excited about things. The birds are chirping and you're upbeat and you're optimistic. Well, when you're suffering from depression and you're bipolar and you're thinking this ain't going to get any better, and you see everybody going out and having fun. So the day he died, October 15, 2007, was as nice a fall day, just magnificent day, the kind of day that everybody else is going to go outside and do something. But anyway, the point is he was not a brooding kid, though, but he struggled with bipolar and depression.
Sure.
He was a very upbeat kid. He had a lot of friends. He was not dark. Your thought is kids who take their life, they're dark and they're insulated. No. It's just the opposite. It's kind of like the Robin Williams.
Yeah, right.
Where, they're very popular. And every time my son went camping, all his friends like, Ben, you got to come and you got to bring your guitar. You got to come and you got to bring your guitar. He was the center of all the energy. And, but as you know, you can run, but you can't hide from, what's going on inside you.
Yeah. So you're saying there, as long as it kept him alive, then you were fine with it. So you must have known or even had prior instances of. So tell us about the mental health journey for him. So obviously there was a bipolar diagnosis. There's a depression diagnosis.
Correct.
How did that kind of start to reveal itself in his younger years?
He just, well, you go all the way back to when he was born. He was just, my running joke is Ben was allergic to the world. He really was. He had asthma and he couldn't eat dairy and all these things. And he had different responses where you or I, we would try things. Things just affected him differently.
Yeah.
And he had these terrible headaches going through puberty, and he had his challenges. But again, great kid, played soccer, had a girlfriend, well on his way to having a nice, productive life.
Right.
But about 16, 17, as he's starting to perform and his friends are starting to excel and getting ready for college, he just starts falling behind for no reason other than he's lacking energy. He's lacking the mental resilience to come back from disappointment. Life is tough.
Right.
It really is. And as you and I know, with the phones, and the phones were just starting to become a thing in 2007. But I call them depression machines. That's all they are. I think they're really good at getting you depressed. And he saw his friends succeeding, or so he thought.
And we talk about it with musicians, where there's even this extra layer of anxiety and depression around putting a new song out, and now you're just looking at either likes or shares instead of feeling good about the art you created. So it's like you're right. The social media of it all really can be a heavy weight on an artist in particular.
The thing that I'm so grateful for, what I like to say about Ben, on the day he was born, June 5th, 1988, if the doctor came to me and said, "Here's the deal, Ed, you're going to have this son. You're going to love him as much as any father ever loved his son. And he's going to love his father as much as any son ever loved the father. But you're going to lose him at 19. He's going to break your heart." I got to take the deal every time. Every time.
That's a beautiful way of looking at it.
I'm grateful for what I had. I'm grateful that he left me this music. Because I hate this journey that I'm on, but it's also amazing. I get to meet you. I'm staring at you on my computer right now, and I feel like we're buddies.
I agree.
So many amazing people. And the thing you learn when this happens to you, when you lose a child to suicide, you think, you got to be the worst human in the world. You got to be the worst father in the world. How could you not be? Because this is like the ultimate FU. Okay, but I don't think that was what the motivation for Ben was. He was just in so much pain, and just couldn't get out of that. That's how much pain he was in.
Yes.
And I remember I'd go to these sessions, these therapy sessions with other parents who lost their kids to suicide. You walk in the room and you look around, you see this couple. You go to yourself, they look pretty normal, and that couple, and you're sitting in this circle, and you say, "Wait a minute, these all look like beautiful, normal people that I would love to be friends with."
Right.
And then you start saying, maybe I'm not so bad either. Not that I'm here to justify that I was a good dad, but just, the way this journey that I've been through, this all has been part of it. It's, but we're here to talk music. Let's talk music.
That's what you nailed it. Like I want to pivot to, he obviously also, the flip side of what he was showing was a huge talent as a musician. So what can you share there in his younger years? Is like, where did he start to find it? When did he just show this incredible talent? You said he started performing at 16 or 17. It had to be showing itself earlier than that.
Without question. He was just so gifted. He really, and like I said, I'm so grateful he left us these 11 songs.
Yeah. So tell me about these recordings. So obviously, the sound of this album is good. Like, so where did the recordings come from? That you were able to put out there, because for people who are listening, it's out there on streaming. You were able to get it out there on different platforms. So
the good news or the bad news, everything with me is a story. So the story behind it is as follows.
Yeah.
So the owner of the guitar shop had a friend who had a little basement studio, and so Ben would go down there and record. It was just him and this guy named Danny Georgie, who's again he's retired. He lives in Florida, and every once in a while I'll call him up and say, "Danny, that recording is going to go somewhere. You're going to see." And I still believe it. I still believe somebody maybe today is going to listen to this podcast and want to do something more with the music. But the point is, it's recorded in this basement, just him and Danny plays every instrument under the sun. So the original recording of Big Man, or the recording that you just listened to, was Ben on acoustic, Ben on vocals, and then Ben going back and harmonizing with himself, because of course, who can't harmonize with himself?
I can't do it.
How these people know how to do this stuff, I don't know, but that's Ben. And so Danny played the drums, played the electric, played the bass, would just layer the song. that recording took place in 2006 or 7. And it languished, and it was a decent recording. But fast forward to about 5 years ago, whenever I meet anybody in the entertainment industry, I always have my antenna half up. And as soon as I hear somebody saying, "Oh, I'm making a movie, I'm cutting an album,"
Right.
"Oh, can I share something with you?"
Sure.
And so this guy, we have a restaurant here in Bloomington, and this guy comes into the restaurant and asks for a donation. What's the donation for? He says, "I'm a movie producer and I'm directing a movie. And if you donate food to the cast, at the end of the movie, we'll put your, food donated by."
Right.
So he doesn't know why I'm saying yes, but I immediately say yes. I say, as long, and they're filming right here in Bloomington, Indiana. So I go to the set and I bring him the food and I have a CD with me because that's how old this story is.
Right.
I have CDs. And I said, "Hey, if you can do me a favor, I want to share something with you." And I told him the story. And I said, "If you can use," I said, "I own all the copyrights. If there's anything you could use in the movie, I'd be honored. And here's the music."
Mm-hmm.
And he gets back to me like 2 weeks later and he says, "Ed, I listened to it. It's great stuff, but it's just not right for the movie." And I've been rejected so many times, I don't care, but I keep swinging the bat because why?
Love it.
He's not going, Ben's not going anywhere, neither. God willing, neither am I for a while. It gives me something to do. So he says, "But I'll keep it close to my heart and we'll see what happens." Fast forward about 3 years later, this is about 2 years ago, I'm in the restaurant and he walks in and we're not friends, but I recognize him. He says, "Ed, do you remember when you gave me that CD 3 years ago?" I'm like, "Of course I do." He says, "I have not forgotten about that." He goes, "There's a studio here in the woods outside of Bloomington." He goes, "You need to know that I gave that CD to this guy who owns the studio, and he has cleaned up the entire album for me. I just asked him to do it. Total stranger to me."
Sure.
And I wanted to drive out there next week, and we're going to go listen to your son's music, a little crisper, a little cleaner.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, "Oh my God," and I'm hugging him, and I can't believe it. And so we drive out there and there's a band in the studio recording. So we all take a break and I tell them a story and we play a couple of tracks. And this happens all the time. Right. When anybody listens to the music, almost always something magical happens. And it might be like just a game of rugby where they advance the ball 5 yards and then they get tackled. Right. So it's not like we get to the finish line, but we go somewhere.
Right.
We're advancing the ball forward. And so one of the guys calls me about a week later. He says, "Ed, I was in that room. I was the drummer in that band. And I've listened to your son's music and I can't get it off my head. I want to help you."
Wow.
I'm like, "Okay." He says, "I want to get your," and I don't know anything about Spotify. And this stuff is just a foreign language to me. And so he goes, "I want to get your music on Spotify and Apple and Amazon." And I'm like, "Okay, how much do you want me to pay you?" Right away. Because I'm thinking I got to pay him. He said, "No, I don't want a penny. I just want to help you. I believe in the project." Like, okay. So right now we're not making any money because it doesn't have enough plays. But if this thing exploded, which I dream it would, I'm not making a penny. And I'm not saying that to pat myself on the back, but I think it's important that it could potentially be a money-making thing, but not for me. And as you know, money and awareness is where it's at.
Absolutely.
If we could money and awareness, it's not, we can't save them all, but if we could save one.
Yeah. So
just one.
Right. Basically similar wired to you. Like, this show doesn't make revenue. I want it to break even, and anything that's left over on top of that goes to these other organizations that we try to spotlight. So, for example, the ticket sales for our Listen to the Dissonance event that's this weekend, the revenues all go to Backline, which was the interview right before this one. Backline is an organization that provides free mental health services to the music industry.
Unbelievable.
Yeah. So that's something there. The other
they'd be a great contact for this story without question. That's brilliant.
Absolutely. Yeah. So Backline, I want to put another one out to you. This wouldn't necessarily further. Yeah. I don't know that it would or wouldn't. It's more that it was so applicable. So on this episode a year ago, I'm always looking for these stories that are a connection between mental health and music. And sadly, last year, it was another tragic one of a young boy who was a musician who lost his life. His was from a drug overdose, but it was stemming from battle with depression and such because of just needing the escape. His name was Ben. his mother through the grief and comes out of it and forms an organization called Speak Up for Ben. So you need to look up this organization because it's called Speak Up for Ben because her son was named Ben. He was a musician. He passed away. I think it was right around the same age range, 17, 18, 19 years old. Then she furthermore starts this, like Speak Up for Ben is more advocacy and lobbying for basically pharma companies to make sure that they're, doing the right thing with labeling and prescribing and also trying to get fentanyl out of the country and out of the opioid crisis. But then she started an organization off of that called the Oasis Community Center. And it's a support center for the families of people who struggle with substance use addiction. So substance use disorder, whatever. The point is that it's this beautiful stone house here in Pennsylvania that anyone is welcome to walk in the front door if they need help to manage the fact that you have someone in your life who struggles with addiction. So they will help you find services for that person, but this organization is specifically focused on the family who is struggling with the person who's has the addiction disorder.
Well, what's crazy, the way I found you or found your podcast, I will literally wax and wane with my energy for the project. I might go 6 months, nothing happens. I don't speak to anybody. Yep. I just know it's out there. And then something will happen and I'll sit at the computer and all of a sudden, like for the next 5 hours, I'm just looking for something. I don't even know what. I'm just fishing. And I'm not big on LinkedIn. Maybe it wasn't even, I might have went on podcast. I think I just Googled top 20 music podcasts. Something gave me an idea. Like, why am I not reaching out to podcasts? And I found yours. And there's a reason, because what you just described with Speak Up for Ben, like to me, imagine, and who knows if this could be, but I reach out to them and I said, listen, Center Stone is doing nothing. I would rather have and again, we're not making any money right now. I think it costs me $60 a year to keep the music alive, to keep it afloat in all the streaming services. But wouldn't it be something if one of these songs took off and we raised money, for Speak Up for Ben, which, oh, by the way.
Exactly. That's why I mentioned it, because I was like, this is too weird, too coincidental for it not to be something. And so I even hope too, I hope maybe next year you and your wife can come out to listen to the Dissonance in 2027 and be here in person. Amazing. You can then meet that organization. They table at the event. So there's 8 mental health organizations that table at the event so that audience goers can, maybe they feel like they want to learn more about services provided for themselves or for their loved ones, or just to maybe support them because they're, passionate about these things. So they maybe want to learn how they can donate time or money. But then obviously sit and listen to the musicians perform. But yeah, we'd love to have you all out for that next year. Would be amazing. So on that point, and this is how we'll kind of close out the session. But I'm with you. I could talk to you for another 2 hours. But going back to Ben's music, he has tracks on here that are, again, you had talked about these deeper lyrics, but the titles of them are like My Apology and One Life, Down This Road. So you know that these are songs that are somewhat therapeutic and working through tough issues. And the one that seemed to be even almost, to use a phrase, anthemic of this moment in his life was Let Me Go.
Without question.
And I just wanted to maybe have you just set it up quick and then we'll play it. And
without question. I like how you said quick. That you need to do that. Otherwise, we're going to lose the audience. So any parent wants their kids to be free thinkers and stick up for what they believe in, even if we disagree with them. And so he wrote that. So he wrote this song called Let Me Go. And I said, Ben, because that one is easy to understand the lyrics. I'm sitting there writing them all down. It's very easy for me to understand the lyrics because it's a lullaby. Mm-hmm. And in the song, he says 2 things. He does 2 things that just scared the shit out of me. One, during the song, he says, people are dying just to live. I am living just to die. Mm. Like, Ben. And then in every chorus, he says, let me go back to sleep. Mm-hmm. But he ends the song with just let me go. Mm-hmm. I'm like, Ben, could you please? I I would really appreciate it if you just say, let me go back to sleep. He says, Dad, and he was not a defiant kid. He was not an in your face. He was just very comfortable in his own skin. He was like, Dad, it's my song.
That's the song.
And
you
I
have
was
to,
like, I can't argue with that.
You have to,
it's his song.
You have to admire that.
And so with this, at his funeral, that was the eulogy.
Yeah, I can imagine.
That was the eulogy, and for good reason.
Well, Ed, thank you so much for your bravery and your openness and, your vulnerability on this. And I'm sure this isn't easy to come back around to. But like you said, too, there's some therapy to it as well to make sure that Ben stays alive through this music and through these stories. So thank you for sharing them. And hope everyone enjoys this last track that we'll play here. But please go check out. It's on streaming services. It's on YouTube. You can go check it out. The thing I love about this particular version is it has pictures of him through his life, and it's a really beautiful tribute to him. So here, enjoy Let Me Go by Ben Schwartzman.
Phil, I wish I could hug you right now, but
absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you. God bless you. Thank you.
Soft breathing
So there is our chat with Ed Schwartzman, father of Ben.
Damn. That was a lot. That was super intense. That was, but it was really beautiful.
Isn't that so sweet and so,
Yeah.
like, how his father is just so still committed to this? I mean, it was 2007. It's 19 years ago.
I know. Yeah, that's incredible. I mean, yeah, I hope that it's a cathartic process. Like, I hope he like finds some semblance of like peace, I think, maybe.
Yeah, it seems like it. It seems like
Yeah.
he's got, like I said, that's about, honestly, that's like half the interview. There's more there. If
Yeah.
you want to check out the full one, it'll be on our YouTube channel. But like, it does seem like just he's finding that healing through hearing that other people like the music.
Totally.
Like especially like a fellow musician, someone who has a podcast about finding new music. Like those types of things seem to be helping him just cherish the memory that he had.
Yeah.
And the life that was lived. Like I think the sweetest moment of the whole thing is when he says, if someone told me that that's the way it was going to go, I would still take the deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's just...
That was so, that punched me in the gut.
Totally.
Yeah.
It's like, I'm not sure I can continue this interview. I hope you keep talking, Ed, because I'm verklempt. But yeah. And I truly think, like, we played only 2 tracks. He has a full album out there. And we played like the upbeat one and this very, opposite end of the spectrum. And I truly think it's really good. Like, I just think there's an element to that just has a spark to it. Like, please go out and check out the full album. And I think it would mean something too. If it somehow moves you, just reach out to me. I'll give you Ed Schwartzman's contact info, and he'd probably love to hear from you. But
I bet he would. Yeah.
So that was awesome. Thank you for spending time with us for that. And then prior to that, we had that track by Barney Cortez, "I'll Buy Anything." Wasn't that amazing too?
That was great. I love that finger picking.
Oh my gosh, he's so good at the guitar. He seems and sounds like almost Dylan-esque. He kind of looks like him too. Like, it's just an unbelievable performer, and I can't wait to hear more from him on Friday evening. I suppose let's just spend one quick moment here to kind of talk about the show. If you came to nextfaveband.com and you come over here to, it says right here, upcoming Listen to the Dissonance 2026. If you click on that, it takes you to the page. There's Hannah's gorgeous artwork. Here's where you would get tickets. It would take you off to an Eventbrite page. They're only $10. We try and keep them low. And if there's some sort of barrier to that, like, please reach out if you want to be there. I'd rather find a way to get you there. So it's this Friday, doors at 6, show at 7. The reason why we leave an hour is because I want to scoot down here. These are the tabling organizations. So you heard me talk about 2. Speak Up for Ben and the Oasis Community Center there and here. The other organizations that'll be there, NAMI, the National Alliance on Mental Illness, the Lehigh Valley chapter will be there. Find Yourself and Be That, which is a counseling center. New Bethany, which is a homeless shelter and like kind of like transitional housing and food bank. Sync Recovery, which is people who are sober living and looking for community of others who are kind of be able to do events together and support. Lehigh Valley Girls Rock, because it creates a safe space for women and trans children. The Clubhouse of Lehigh Valley. And then Avidum. These are all the organizations that will be there tabling. And then Tumbleweed Photographer, one of the sponsors, is also a person who is going to become a mental health counselor and who also is a photographer. So, like, it just is such a really cool night where the community really comes together. And here are the 4 performers. You heard from CLOVER, Judah Kim, Barney Cortez, and you're about to hear from PerShayla. She's the Nashville-based artist. But anyway, I just kind of wanted to spend a moment there to kind of say, please consider coming down to get the experience, to talk to these organizations, to hear the stories. These are very, very, brave and vulnerable musicians who are going to kind of share their personal mental health journey and then just play some songs that came out of that. Some of them are going to be the darker times, some of them the more hopeful times, and everything in between. So it tends to be a very special evening and one that's very quite memorable. So hopefully you'll join us. Hannah, any closing words?
This was lovely. Thank you for having me. Thanks for having me do the the design. I just love being a part of this. I wish I could have played it also.
Well, listen, it seems to be an every year thing. So
Yeah.
I know that calendars and schedules and everything are such a certain way, but basically it seems like it's always going to be the last weekend in February. We chose February on purpose because we kind of felt like this post-holiday, post-New Year's, kind of like, you heard, Ed kind of talk about it, that it's a difficult time as it's trending towards the better weather.
Yeah.
So we kind of picked this, like May is mental health awareness. I think September is addiction and suicide awareness, but we picked February because it can be a very difficult seasonal disorder time.
Oh,
And so
yeah.
we
Seasonal
felt like,
depression is like on top of the regular depression is the seasonal depression is really a doozy. And February is the dark. I mean, I know it's not the coldest, darkest month, but it is the shortest month. And it feels like the coldest month most of the time. And I think we're all just, to borrow words from one of my bandmates, where I think we're all just trying to keep our pilot on as best as we can.
Yep.
Like, and then the weather gets nicer, and I'm like, oh yeah, I do have the will to live. I do have hope.
Well, I don't mean to laugh, but I think, again,
No,
like we talked about earlier, there's
Yeah.
this comedy to it because that's how you push through, but there's a reality to it.
Totally. Yeah.
And I think that's why we chose February, because it hopefully might give somebody something to look forward to kind of, again, have that kind of like push through, persevere kind of moment.
Yeah. You gotta laugh. Otherwise, like, what's the
Otherwise you'll
point?
cry. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
But
nothing wrong with crying either, but it's just more like
I do both, but like I have to, I don't know. Everything that you have to find the humor in it.
Correct. And the balance.
If you can.
Absolutely,
The balance. But
Yep.
this is such an awesome event, and you're doing awesome work. And so
Well, thank you.
really, really excited to be, part of it any way I can.
Awesome.
Like,
Well,
lend my
again,
voice, like maybe give someone else some hope,
yeah, that's it. That, like, this isn't necessarily anything other than to just help people feel they're not as alone.
Yeah.
And also, if it is something where you feel like you need to ask for help, that's okay. Like, that's kind of all the two things we're kind of hoping to put out there for people. And also a big thank you to Mister. He made the show lovely.
Yeah,
he seems to be chasing something
I
right
think he's chasing a bug. He's busy.
now. Okay.
I
I hope he gets it.
I hope he gets it too. He
Yeah.
says thank you though.
So we're gonna play one last track here. It's called "Shape I'm In" by PerShayla. I know you're gonna love it. And then we'll close things out, and we're gonna play. We're not gonna come back on. We're just gonna play Patty's track, the closing track, credits, and then we're gonna. I think I dropped off there for a second, but
Okay.
let's. That's a perfect sign. It's time to kind of close the show. Thank you so much, Hannah.
Thanks, Philip. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too. And don't forget, I've got a poster for you. So next time we connect, I'll have
Awesome.
it.
All right, cool.
See ya.
Bye.
Sometimes I'm out of line, but I refuse to say sorry. Sometimes I have to lie to tell the whole story. And sometimes I get so in my head I quit before I start. And sometimes I'm so stupid I forget that I'm smart. I'm always turning the page, yeah, but never a prophet. I got one foot in the grave and a hole in my pocket. I'm the best in the business of being insecure. I know I don't know nothing, at least I think I'm pretty sure. I've never been begged to carry on, and could never quite slay. I've been a comfortable skin. My hands on my hands, how do they lay again? Nothing fits right with the shape I'm in. Oh, nothing fits right with the shape I'm in. Home is a suitcase these days. I'll go where they put me. Somehow the scene changed when I wasn't looking. I went back to the old house. Such little remains now. I feel like a stranger walking on the same old ground. I'm a stranger walking on the same old ground. No, I've never been begged to carry on, and I could never quite slap in a comfortable skin. My hands on my hands, how do they fits right with the shape I'm in. And only I know all the hell I've been through, trying to find a hole I can crawl into. Lessons I never learned, so everything's uncharted. Thought I'd be better, but I'm still just getting started. Oh, but what doesn't kill me only makes me more tragic, makes for a good story, makes me a little more dramatic. Yeah, 'cause what doesn't kill me only makes me more tragic. It's not just getting older, it makes for a classic. No, I've never been begged to carry on. Could never quite slip in a comfortable skin. My hands, oh my hands, how do they linger? Nothing fits right. Oh no, nothing fits right. No, nothing fits right with the shape I'm in.
All right, Phil, let's say goodbye to everybody.
We'd like to thank you for tuning in to this episode of Your Next Favorite Band, the preview for Listen to the Dissonance 2026, featuring brave stories and powerful music from Clover, Judah Kim, Patty PerShayla, and Barney Cortez. Thank you to each of them, and hope you enjoyed a track from each of those. A huge thank you, though, to Hannah Taylor for being my guest co-host tonight, and also for this stunning graphic that she designed to help promote the show. I'm going to bring it up on the screen right now so they can play the rest of the time. Just absolutely gorgeous work there. So definitely check out her artwork, check out her music with the Flying Vees, check out the prior interviews with all 5 of those individuals that have been on the show before. Just search that up or reach out and we can tell you where to find them at nextfaveband.com or on our YouTube channel at nextfaveband. Also, thank you to Ari Jacobson, clinical director of Backline, and to that entire organization, not only for coming on the show, but also for all they do all year long for the music industry, providing free mental health services. And also, thank you to Ed Schwartzman for sharing the story of his son's journey and tragic end, but keeping his legacy alive through his music that he was able to record. So please check out the music of Ben Schwartzman, and then hopefully you'll enjoy that as well. We hope you'll join us at this Listen to the Dissonance this Friday, February 27th, in Bethlehem. Check out nextfaveband.com to find more details and to buy tickets. One more track here from last year's Listen to the Dissonance. Everybody came back on stage to play Around the Corner, which has kind of become the anthem of Listen to the Dissonance. Please enjoy. What we like to do on our show is ask the musicians to come up and all perform a song on stage together. So that's something that they agreed to, so you guys can start by making your way back up here. We wanted to acknowledge the fact, so like last year, where the one of the performers on was Mike Maines of Mike Maines and the Branches, and he has a song called Around the Corner, and it kind of became somewhat of the anthem of last year's event, and he was very much kind of the inspiration behind bringing this type of event together. And so I asked the crew here if they would mind learning that song and performing it here for you. And so the Listen to the Dissonance players will now bring you Around the Corner. But let's hear it one more time. Brittany, Brian, Pat, and John. And also thank you to all of you for coming out tonight. It's a very special event.
All right. One more time. Yeah, thank you guys all. This song's called Around the Corner by Mike Maines.
Do you feel like hanging from a cross? Do you feel like your world is lost? When you're lying wide awake, counting every mistake, do you hate what you've become?
Would you like to soak your heart in bleach, scrub it white till all the walls are clean? When you're staring in the mirror and that old black horse appears, do you hate what you've become? Don't throw it all away. We've all made our mistakes. You never know what's waiting for you. Goodbye to yesterdays. Hello to brighter days. You never know what's around the corner. Do you feel like falling down your soul? Hanging a white flag upon your door, with heaven's mansion out of reach. From your knees you drink defeat. Will you fall down on your soul? Is the devil standing at your door? Don't throw it all away. We've all made our mistakes. You never know what's waiting for you. Goodbye to yesterdays. Hello to brighter days. You never know what's around the corner. Around the corner. Around the corner. You never know what's around the corner. Everybody needs a little bit of sunshine. Torch the light and carry through the dark night. My story's the same as yours, different details in between. I lost my faith, I once was blind, but I found